Greetings friends, That Gaming Author here, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Trails of Cold Steel. In the last episode, we finished up our investigation of the old schoolhouse, came back, hung out with Elisa and Toa here, and just looked around at the school campus in general. In this episode, we're going to be heading back to the town of Trista, talking to the townspeople, and maybe seeing if there's anything else we can do before we finish the day off. So, this is kind of how a lot of the game's going to go. We're going to be spending a lot of time looking around, exploring, even if it's places we're familiar with. I do want to spend time making sure we're talking to everyone and just looking at everything, because there are a lot of things you could find throughout this game that you might not find otherwise. The upper class students should be returning before long. I'm eager to hear what our new students did with their first free day. Hopefully they made good use of their time. I should make preparations for everyone's return. Hopefully they made good use of their time. Oh, and we can actually enter. So it looks like Celestine's still here. Is there anyone else? Oh, okay. Master Patrick is currently at the fencing club. I do so hope that he is making friends there. Oh, my apologies for speaking out of turn. I tend to overly concern myself with my young master's well-being. Oh, Sarifa, today is a day of celebration, for today, Varus has finally stepped into the fervent world of Thor's lacrosse. What say we hold a feast so exquisite that even Adios herself would be jealous? A splendid idea. Let us gather everyone within the upper-class dorm and begin preparations for the feast at once. Varus, dear sister, I can hardly wait for your return. When I see you again, we shall celebrate with a feast worthy of Adios herself. Preparations for the feast shall begin post-haste. I can hardly wait to see the look on Lady Ferris's face when she returns. I mean, you guys do you. Let's go ahead and head to the lower class dorms, see if there's anyone hanging around here. Oh, there are already a couple people down here, actually. The lower class chess club will be closed down if we keep losing like this. It's so unfair. Chess isn't just meant for nobles. So the nobles' reign of terror extends all the way to club activities. Mind telling me a bit more about this? I knew going into that chess club was a haven for nobles, but I had no idea they were doing this. That leaves me with just one option if that's the case. Apparently, Machias is really good at chess. He might just be the savior I've been waiting for. Oh wow. I believe it. Machias seems very smart. Whew, guess I'll go grab some dinner. I don't want to eat at the cafeteria all the time, so let's head to Kirsch's tonight. Anyone else here to speak to? Oh yeah, hey. I've heard that the Student Council President Toa works hard even on our free days. Now there's a girl you've got to respect. On top of that, she's always ready to help us with our dorm-related troubles, too. Aw. Yeah, Toa's a really nice person. She's definitely worth looking up to, I'd say. Alright, let's head into the chapel. Anyone in one of these rooms? No one in here. Oh, two people in here. Oh, not at all. In fact, we're the ones that should be thanking you. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow, too. And thank you for allowing me to come along today. I'll be sure to come along after school tomorrow, too. I spent the day assisting Sister Ornella with her work. Hopefully I can be of assistance to those who visit the church by helping out Sister Ornella as much as possible. Oh, yes! I should prepare Rosine's habit. I wonder if we have any in her size. Most new students seem to be settling into their academy and adjusting to their new lives here. Their smiles, filled to the brim with hope and aspiration, are unquestionably Trista's greatest treasure. Do not hesitate to take part in whatever draws your interest. Keep in mind, however, that there are certain boundaries you must not cross. Be sure to live your life in accordance with both your academy's rules and Adios' teachings. Today's your first free day, is it not? I do hope you will give your utmost effort to both your studies and whichever club you choose to join. Of course. On one hand, I'd say I regret not taking school more seriously, but on the other hand, it hasn't really affected my life all that much, so I don't care. That isn't to say, that sounds terrible, but, you know, if you care about school, care about it. If you don't, just do what you need to. Get my dinner in the bath ready. And what's that about, Emil? The children's education is supposed to be your job. Jeez. There's no need for you to tell me twice. I'll get dinner taken care of, so go hop in the bath. Emil's tutor is over though, so try not to make too much noise. Every single day. He just waltzes in without a word of greeting too. Man, that is rough. I started doing some home tutoring here a while back. I wanted to earn some money that I could send my family back home, but I ended up having a lot of fun. I think this kind of work might be perfect for me. It's the same with the swimming club, really. I just like teaching people. This kind of work might be perfect for me, actually. The material taught at Sunday school is far too simple for me. That's why I have Klein teach me the same material you all get at Thor's. Hopefully, I'll be able to take my entrance exams and attend a good school soon enough. I see. That's interesting. Klein's a superb teacher, so studying with him always feels very simple. Oh, that's nice. Let's go ahead and head back out, if I can figure out where the door is. Like I said, I generally try avoiding looking at the minimap if I can help it, just because I prefer looking at the scenery of the game. Oh, looks like you've become a brown angler. That's proof that you've been really racking up the catches. I think you've got the potential to go pretty far. But yeah, about that, I don't really get what these titles mean. Don't worry about it. Oh yeah, now that you're a brown angler, you can trade your points in for some new stuff. There's even a new fishing rod available this time, so get fishing for more points. Fine by me. It'd be a waste to miss out on the chance to get some better tools. Oh hey, we meet again. You up for some fishing? Now that's what I call a sunset. Now yeah, let's go ahead and get the Deluxe Rod. And I don't think there's anything else I really want here for now. Ooh. Attacks and crafts can mute or freeze enemies. I want to get that. Lake Lord the Third? Yep, that's what my brother calls himself. He set off to Crossbell with his fancy Elite Four. He sounds funny. If by funny you mean weird, sure. You're kind of weird too though, Kenny. All you do is fish. Really? Yeah. Aw. Let's see, can we do some fishing here, or are we done? Oh, we can do 3. Let's go ahead and change to our Deluxe Rod. Oh, it's a big boy again. Wow, that was much easier than normal.
Wow, this is a big one!
Jeez, yeah, check that out. 70 points for that catch, man. That was awesome. Oh, this is a big one. Nice.
Wow, this is a big one!
A new catch, too. Alright, let me shake my arm out before this last one. Let's go! Aw, just a little tiny one. I got all hyped for nothing. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. You know what? That's fine by me. We started off strong, so we had to kind of nerf ourselves a little bit there. That's fine. Let's head over to the bookstore. I actually wanted to check something here. Oh hey, Hugo really does my head in. He came in earlier and was geeking, This and about how I talk too much and it leads to a poor time-to-money ratio. Does he have a problem with the way I do things? Hugo's always home if you're looking for him. He's still living in Heimdall, so he says he needs to head home early doors. Don't know why, though. I just joined the literature club. I've always loved reading ever since I was young, so I'm rather excited to try writing something for myself. I just hope I'm able to keep up with the Dorothy's level of dedication. Okay, this will be the first time I've tried to actually write my own stories, so I'm hoping to make the most of it. Writing is so good. I love writing. I've been participating in National Novel Writing Month, and it makes me happy. Have you heard of Red Moon Rose? It's a pretty popular novel these days. As a matter of fact, I happen to have the first chapter of it right here. Why not give it a read? Alright. Are you sure I can just have it? Think of it as thanks for helping the student council with their work. And besides, giving you a free book makes you likely to buy one from us in the future, alright? Thanks. Next time I need a book, you'll be the first to know. Becky's been putting in some real work. She talks a lot, but she's great at bringing in the customers. Sales have been on a steady rise thanks to her. I wouldn't mind having her around all the time. Becky comes along to do some part-time work a couple times every month. Sales have been on the rise since she arrived, so I'd be happy to have her work here for as long as she'd like. Alright, let's see. Do you have the books that I want? So, these are books that increase your rank with other characters, so they do not have the book I want yet. But you know what? Let's go and read that new book we just got. Red Moon Rose, Chapter 1, The Red Moon. Our story begins in Erebonia during the Middle Ages, some 200 years ago. The War of the Lions had concluded in western Zemuria, and Emperor Drykles, the driving force behind its resolution, had been deceased for over a decade. The imperial capital, Heimdall, was a beautiful, traditional city with rows of cheerful red brick buildings that had earned it the nickname the Vermilion Capital. In one back alley of the city, however, a solemn mood reigned. Soldiers in military uniforms paced up and down while a crowd of onlookers gathered to see what was going on. They clung to the edges of the scene, refusing to disperse no matter how many times they were asked. At the center of the commotion lay a young woman. Her skin was shockingly pale, as if not a drop of blood ran through her veins. On her neck, 2 dark red spots stood out in stark contrast to the pallid flesh. Seeing this, a middle-aged soldier let out a loud sigh and took out his pocket watch. It was just after 6. He gave a curt order to his subordinates to find out who she was, and the woman's body was swiftly carried away from the curious stares of the gawkers. After watching her safely borne away, he noticed a younger soldier following the woman with his eyes as well. Alphonse! He tapped the young man on his shoulder. The soldier started, seeming to realize he was still on duty. Sorry, Gerard. Somewhat flustered, Alphonse adjusted his beret that hung his head apologetically. Though snapped from his reverie, it was clear he still had something on his mind. I believe I've told you before to address me as Sir while on duty. I am your commanding officer, after all, Gerard said jokingly. With a fond pat on the shoulder, Gerard reminded him to stay focused, and then left to give orders to the rest of his subordinates. Alphonse quickly returned to his post, silently grateful for Gerard's characteristically thoughtful gesture. Watching this exchange was another young soldier the same as Alphonse. Scowling unpleasantly, he gave an audible tut. The girl's untimely demise, though shocking, was but one in a series of grisly murders that were the talk of the town. Most of the victims were young women who had been out at night, and they had all met their ends through loss of blood. Or, put another way, the victims had died after having all the blood drained from their bodies. Furthermore, all of the bodies which had been found had something else in common. Each had bite marks on their neck, as if they had been pierced by incredibly sharp fangs. It didn't take long for word of this to start to spread among the people of Heimdall, and all who heard the rumors were quick to think of one of the many ancient legends which existed in Erebonia. Specifically, the legend that described immortal, monstrous creatures which roamed the land at night feeding on the blood of humans. It was these very legends that eventually became the inspiration for the mass killing's new moniker, the Vampire Murders. That night, after his duties were complete, Alphonse made his way to a small tavern tucked away in a corner of the capital by the name of Allegria to enjoy a late evening meal. As he sat down to his dinner, a pretty girl near his own age with a glossy chestnut ponytail studied him with obvious concern. "So, how is it, Alfie? Is it nice?" "I hope so. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out." The girl, Luca, had been Alphonse's friend since his arrival in Heimdall 10 years before. A shy and nervous smile tugged at her lips as she continued to watch him. Alphonse felt a hot blush creep up his neck under her intense gaze. but he forced himself to eat. The beef stew she had made had a simple yet comforting taste to it. Yeah, he assured her. It's really good. You've really gotten the hang of this. Luca relaxed at his words, and with a few quick self-conscious glances at the rest of the tavern customers, she seated herself opposite to him. Her courage seemed spent after this gesture, though, and they sat in awkward silence for some time until she managed the hesitant, "How's work going these days?" At the word work, Alphonse's hand, which was carrying the food to his mouth, instantly came to a halt. Despite the so-called vampire murders going on for some time, they had been unable to find a single clue to the culprit behind it all. The corpse of the woman from that afternoon flashed across his mind's eye, and the pleasant flavor of the stew died on his tongue. So young. She must have had family, friends, perhaps even a partner, just like anyone else. She had had her whole life ahead of her, and yet that life had been brought to a sudden end, just like so many others before her. What the criminal had done was unforgivable, but the reprehensible nature of the crimes wasn't the only reason that Alphonse was obsessed with this case. Though sadly for him, there was very little he could do to solve it now that he had been removed from the investigation team. Luca's soft voice brought him back from his thoughts. "Alfie, just don't go overdoing it, okay?" Her kind words made Alphonse realize how tense his expression must have become. Her concern embarrassed him. "I'm fine, honestly," he said in what he hoped was a reassuring voice. Alphonse was a member of the unit of the Imperial Army popularly known as the Gerard Team, which was responsible for maintaining law and order in Heimdall. Gerard, the team's commanding officer, had long cared for Alphonse like a father, and it was his recommendation that led Alphonse to join the army and become a member of the team. Since then, he lived in a dormitory near the army's guardhouse. His meal at the tavern finished, he sketched Luca a quick goodbye and took his usual route back towards the dormitory. An eerie red-colored moon hung full in the sky, bathing the brick buildings in a bewitching carmine glow. Walking along, Alphonse couldn't help but notice that the number of people on the streets at night was much smaller of late. Considering the culprit behind the vampire murders still hadn't been found, that was hardly surprising though. And yet, despite the fact that barely anyone dared to take to the streets, new victims kept appearing one after another, as if to mock the soldiers who patrolled in the dead of night to keep them safe. The sense of fear in the city increased day by the day, and was a deep unease shared by all, even the soldiers. Silently, he swore to himself yet again that he would stop at nothing to catch whoever was responsible and bring them to justice. Suddenly, Alphonse stopped in his tracks, his troubled thoughts interrupted by the sight of an unaccompanied woman walking ahead of him. The deep shadows blanketing the path made it difficult to be certain, but she seemed unsteady on her feet. To his further surprise, she then turned and disappeared down an even darker back alley. Considering the ongoing vampire murders, it was hard to believe that anyone could be so careless. With a resolute air, Alphonse set about following the woman, determined to call out to her and try to prevent her from coming to any harm. He entered the back alley. Gloom obscured all but the sharpest of angles. He squinted, willing his eyes to adjust. The soft outline of a woman's back took shape in the depths of the alley. "Excuse me, miss. I'm not sure it's wise to be—" Alphonse forgot what he was going to say. Something was wrong. Slowly, the woman turned to face him. Her head hung limply to the side, long hair masking her face. A hint of eyes could be seen through the wild locks, but they held no focus, no awareness. She opened her mouth and moaned. Horrified by the disturbing figure before him, Alphonse froze. In an instant, she was on him. Arms outstretched, she lunged and seized his neck in a crushing grip. Taken completely by surprise, he fell backwards, the weight of her pinning him down. Slowly, methodically, she began to squeeze. "Ugh!" he croaked. How could that seemingly lifeless woman be capable of such unnatural strength? No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't pry her hands from around his windpipe. All his training, his useful strength, none of it seemed to count for anything against those unyielding claws. Her fingers dug deeper still, and the already painful absence of air became indescribable agony. From his low vantage point, Alphonse was able to see more of the woman's face now. It swam in and out of his view of his oxygen-starved brain, but her pale flesh was almost luminous against the darkness of the night. Her lips were chapped and colorless. As she squeezed, they began to part in a hungry leer, the edges splitting. Dinner. Although Alphonse could barely understand what was happening, his instincts knew exactly what the woman was about to do. He bucked and writhed desperately in her grip, but her hold was too great. Black began seeping into his vision. Even as he remembered the saber belted to his waist, he was too weak to draw it. The blank-eyed woman thrust her face eagerly towards his neck, teeth bared and mouth yawning wide. Alphonse began to close his eyes. Death seemed his only choice. But just then, the world in his fading view exploded. That was a long one. Let me actually drink some water after that. Oh well, you won't hear any complaints from me. I love reading those. Oh, how I wish you two were there to see my performance at the fencing club today. With my sheer skill and experience, even the second year I faced stood no chance. Truly amazing, Patrick. He was a fool to think he could compare to you. Even the second year I faced off against could hardly fight toe-to-toe with me. While the current captain is a noble herself, she seems to be more of a manager than a fighter. At this rate, they'll be begging me to take the title of captain before long. You're as remarkable as ever, Patrick. I wish I was even half as talented as you. I assume you're a student at Thor's too? Then you better treat Patrick with a proper degree of respect. Understood? Man. You guys are pretty demanding. There go my plans for a relaxing evening. Judging by that irritating voice, I'm afraid the pest outside is exactly who I think it is. Oh, so you know him? Just his name. Perhaps I should return to the dorm for the day. I'd rather not talk with him if I can avoid it. Is being able to spend a little time relaxing after class too much to ask? Perhaps I should return to the dorm for the day. I've heard talk of disputes happening over in Keldic. My heart goes out to those who live in the areas ruled by nobles when I hear stories like that. Okay, so he just says the same thing then. Oh man, this is bad. It'll take a while to get here even if I order it now. Is something the matter? Yeah. Based on the red duds, I'm guessing you're from that new class of the academy? And that's correct. But where'd you hear about the uniforms? We get students in here all the time, so I'm always up to date on the comings and goings at the academy. You here to order something, though? Not at all. I just wanted to make sure you're okay. You looked kind of upset. Huh. That's awfully selfless for a kid your age. To be honest, I've got a little stock issue on my hands here. By which I mean I'm all out of a certain seasoning. So now I'm trying to figure out what I should do. It makes sense. I'm assuming you can't just swap it out for something? Well, I could, but it'd make things taste different. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or anything, but our food's pretty popular. There will be a lot of customers stopping by with that dish on their minds, so I'd feel bad if I used something else. It makes sense. So, what's the secret ingredient you need? Passion leaves, a rare kind of spice from southern Zemuria. Brandon usually orders them for me. I probably wouldn't have ran out either if I just kept my eye on the stock. A rare spice from southern Zemuria. Nicholas from the cooking club might have some. Well, that's a damn shame. I feel bad for the customers, but I'm sure they'll understand if I explain. We'll help them out. Mind if I talk to a friend at the academy about this? He's pretty knowledgeable when it comes to food. He might let me borrow some passion leaves if he has any, too. For real? Oh man, I'd really owe you for that. Don't get your hopes up yet, he might not have any. A small chance is better than none. I really hate to ask, but can you check with him for me? Of course, let me go talk to him. Alright, so that's another reason to go around talking to the NPCs. You might find secret quests like that, and if you're trying to 100% the game or something, there's a chance you might end up missing quests because you weren't diligent enough in talking to NPCs. Seems like certain upper-class students don't appreciate our tea. The one I just served started ranting about how commoners could never make something to a stuck-up stupid taste. Ugh, control yourself, Dolly. Nothing good comes from conflict. Just thinking about that upper-class student really makes me mad. Damn kid should learn some manners. You know, you have a very fair point. Let's actually go ahead and just head on over to the cooking club. Go ahead and grab what we need. Since we can fast travel, that's an option. Oh man, here we go. Hey Irene, what brings you here? Hi Nicholas, I've got a quick question. Irene explained the situation and asked if Nicholas had any passion leaves. Passion leaves, huh? Sorry, I've cooked with them before, but I don't have any at the moment. Oh, thanks anyway. How else am I supposed to get a hold of these things? You might not want to give up hope just yet. And why's that? I don't have any myself, but the cafeteria just might. You think so? I believe I saw them using passion leaves in one of their recent daily specials. It was only one of the sides, so I'm not entirely sure, but the memory definitely sticks out in my mind. I'd say chances are good that Ramsey still has a few on hand, so you should try asking him. I see. Thanks for letting me know. You either have keen eyes or a keen palate to have picked up on that, though. I've always had a knack for picking up ingredients in a dish. Most of the time I can figure out every ingredient and the quantity used in a single bite. That's unbelievable. Oh, not really. I just eat a lot. On that note, you should probably get moving toward the cafeteria. It'll be closing soon. Good idea. Thank you again. Alright, let's go ahead and head on to the Student Union building. Oh, Chef Ramsey, I have a question for you. What is it? Do you need something? You're not here to steal food, are you? No, of course not. Rain explained to Ramsey that he had been sent by Fred to look for passion leaves. I see. So Fred needs some passion leaves, does he? It just so happens I have some right here. Really? Yep, they're all yours. Oh, well, sweet. Thank you very much. By the way, how much do I... no payment necessary. That should be enough to last him a couple weeks. If he finds himself running short again, he can just ask. I have more. I'll be sure to pass that on to him. Thank you again. I didn't expect him to give me those for free. He's not the most talkative person, but he seems like a nice guy. Oh, well, that's nice of him. Alright, let's head back to the cafe and inn. Hey, buddy. No way. You seriously found me some passion leaves? I sure did. Here you go. I can't believe you actually got these. Really, thanks so much. I owe you one. Don't worry about it. Just happy to help. You got me a ton, too. How much did all of these run you? Nothing, actually. I ended up getting these from the Academy's cafeteria. Green told Fred about his discussion with Ramsey. Ah. I'll have to be sure to go thank Ramsey next time I get the chance. I think he'd like that. But I can't forget to thank you either. It's kind of flattering that you went to all that trouble just to get these leaves for little old me. And now our customers won't have to leave hungry and disappointed. So, here, take this. It's nothing special, but I'd like you to have it. Aw, pizza! Nice. And I can have all of these? Of course, any less would be criminal. Oh yeah, I meant to ask, you're not part of the student council, are you? And not exactly, but I do help them out with their work from time to time. Why do you ask? Oh, it's just that they've helped everyone here in Trista out quite a bit over the years, us included. Seeing you try so hard just kinda reminds me of their style, that's all. Huh. So that's why they get requests from everyone in town too. Yep, they're like our personal problem solvers. It's probably a ton of work for them, but I think they all feel like it's worth doing. I can vouch for both of these things after today. Sorry about the first, happy about the second. Well, it's about time for me to get going. Good luck with the rest of the day's work. You too, you really pulled me out of the fire today. Yeah! First hidden quest done. Fantastic, now I can really get cooking. This is just what I needed, thanks. Aw, I'm glad to hear that we can help out. We have just a little more to explore around town. Let's head back to the radio station. See if anyone in here has anything new to say. Oh, hey, Michael. Tonight's the night. Are we all ready? Is everything perfect? Where the hell's our host? What in the world is she doing? It's awfully busy here. Oh, Adios, where in the world is she? Fine, I'll just make sure everything's ready for the moment she arrives. We're starting up a new talk show tonight. Our director is very invested in it. I hope you tune in. Please tune into the new show tonight. Of course, we'll be accepting topic submissions from our listeners, too. Oh, well, that's good. I mean, not like I'd have anything to submit, but still. My son came to the station to meet me on my way back from work. Just knowing you have someone to greet you when you get home makes all the work exhaustion fade away. I want to get back home to my beloved Hannah as quick as humanly possible, which means it's about time for me to get going. Let's go, Kurt. Mommy's waiting. Welcome back, Daddy. I'll take your bag. Mommy and Daddy really love each other. Let's hold hands and head home, Daddy. Aw, so cute. Whoa, that frame rate tank. Hey, Reed. Oh, hi guys. Thanks again for going into the old schoolhouse with me. I don't think things would have gone half as smoothly if you didn't. No worries, we're all here to support each other. But seriously, what's going on in there? Last time I checked, most buildings didn't change around their interiors on their own. Yeah, it beats me. But I guess we'll find out now that we've been asked to do regular inspections. We did accept the original request, so personally, I'd like to see this through to the end. Same here. It is a little bit intimidating, though. Anyway, let's head back in the next month. Yeah, glad I've got you two to back me up. Don't hesitate to give me a call next time you're going into the old schoolhouse. To be honest, that place still kind of scares me, but hopefully I can help it out anyway. Okay, so he just says the same thing. That old schoolhouse isn't going to give up its mysteries easily, I'd bet. If we're going to start investigating it on a more regular basis, it'd be ideal to bring even more people. But even if we can't, I have no intention of backing out. I'm already caught up in it and I want to know more. You say the same thing? Okay. Oh my, it's gotten awful late. I only stopped by for a quick chat on my way home from shopping, but time flies when you're having fun. I should hurry home and get dinner ready. As they say, time flies when you're having fun. Okay, she basically says the same thing. Many members of the Imperial family have attended Thor's military academy for generations. One of our princes enrolled there 8 years ago, in fact. On top of being a fascinating young man, he was also a superb student and something of a social butterfly. He was an outstanding individual in practically every aspect. That prince I mentioned was a delightful young man. What's more, I've heard that making his way into high society hasn't changed his attitude at all from his academy days. Well, that's good. While I'm partial to beautiful blue skies, it's hard to deny the pleasure of looking at the flowers while the sun sets. The white lino flowers in particular are breathtaking when dyed by the sunset. We need to make the most of enjoying them while we can. We won't be seeing them for much longer. The white lino flowers and... okay. So that's basically the same. Kay never learns, does he? Oh well, I'm getting out of here before Brandon shows up. He seems nice, but when it comes to Teisel, he gets scary. History's proven that Brandon should show up and destroy Kay soon enough, which means it's my cue to get the heck out of here. Very good point. Oh come on, I threw a caterpillar at you. You're supposed to scream or run away and hide or something. You're such a kid, Kay. Can you leave me alone, please? I've got work to do here. Ugh. Dang it, she's got some kind of weird anti-teasing barrier. Where's Rudy when I need him? Okay. Will you ever grow up? Any more out of you and I'll be getting my dad out here. Yeah, you probably better stop, kid. This month's first free day is drawing to a close. Many of the new students wasted no time in coming here to browse and shop. As the person in charge of this branch, nothing could make me happier. Feel free to try on anything that catches your eye, okay? Okay, well, thanks for the offer. I think we only have a few more places to check out here in town. Or just a couple, actually. What did you crawl out of? Your uniform's all dusty. What, they got you looking around that old schoolhouse or something? Actually, yes. If this guy was any sharper, you could cut yourself on him. You better head on back to your dorm and get some rest now. You won't be able to get used to living here if you're only half rested anyway. Well, thanks for the advice and looking out, I guess. I think she's the only one here. I sent Kurt off to greet his dad at the station since he'll be arriving soon. Maybe he's already arrived and is giving Kurt a big hug now. The curry's almost done too, so let's get the plates out and wait for them to get back. Harrison just loves curry. Oh, I can't wait to see the look on his face when he gets home. Aww. They sound like a pleasant family. Alright, with that, looks like we've explored everything here in town. Next time on Let's Play Trails of Cold Steel, we will head into the dorms and progress the story at last. I will see you guys then.